Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am R&B Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network, and this is the Morning Market Report. Thanks for joining us here today. Shout out to everybody that's rolling in right now. Glad to have you guys all here. If you haven't heard, Bitcoin is currently sitting at, let's see here. It's sitting at $0.118 million. That's the current price of one Bitcoin right now, $0.118 million. What the hell are you talking about, Piper? We'll explain it all to you, but it's actually a pretty big deal. So taking a look here, guys, you can see on the hourly, we do have a few things coming into the red, but overall for the daily, we're in the green right now. Bitcoin sitting at it's right at $118,000. Taking a look here at the TradFi markets, you can see they're starting to open up in red right there above my head. We're going to talk about this. We're going to look at the price action. We're going to go, hey, if we do pull back, what could we be looking at? If we do go higher, what's your target? So, guys, let's do it. You guys know what time it is. Everyone take seats. Get your notebooks out. Class is in session. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper, and here's on the show, we do this thing. We bring you guys headlines. We give you guys some info so you guys can make informed decisions, get a little bit of knowledge, because knowledge is profit. But I don't do it by myself. I got the man, the myth, the legend. If you guys don't know, he's Mexican Superman, alter ego, just so you know. Let's get him up here. OC guy, what's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
Doing fantastic. Double checking that I'm not muted. And to get started talking. So everything doing fantastic. Yeah.
We have audio.
Man, you mentioned, yeah, that's for new. That's something new. So you mentioned that we are what? You mentioned 118 of a million?
Yeah, $0.118 million Bitcoin. That's what we're at right now.
Yeah,
There's a whole article on this.
Important. Yeah.
No, there's a whole article on this. Evidently, people said, we're going to just stop. We know where this is going. We know where this train is headed. Let's just stop saying that this thing is $118,000, and we're just going to say it's $0.118 million. And the place that this data is coming from is kind of interesting for them to change and flip like that on how they present Bitcoin to the public, so to the investing world. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and them up here with us, OC. See who all's in here. We got French Toaster. We got Baba Yaz in the house. Usernames in here. He said lurking, trading a new guy. Trading a new guy or training a new guy? I think you're training a new guy, but you just trade so much that word just pops in there. Appreciate you, man. Jesse, get lucky. He's in the house. JR is in here with us. That's our trade mentor over there in our community. If you guys are not over there in the Discord seeing his trades, you guys are missing out. Let's see here. French Toaster, I got you. Alexandra GGG in the house with us. Appreciate you being here, lady. That is the mod queen extraordinaire. And her sidekick, 2Dub, Wix Wife Fine, 89. Damn, she fine, 89. Who else we got in here? Baba Yaz, I see you, bro. What's up, Bedred? Appreciate you being here, brother. Yeah, I think I got through with the names that JB, Hulk Smash, good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you joining us here this morning. Duality C is in here. And I saw BC Port Corp sliding in early saying good morning, good morning, good morning. Either that or he said General Motors. I'm not sure which one it is, but we got a good morning there. I'm wearing my Caddyshack hat today. Got my little tag so I can, place down to putt, just goes right there, my little clip. It's great. Love this hat. Love this hat. Chris Ford Ranger, good morning from the Aussie gang, the Otter gang. I appreciate you being here, bro. Otter gang did not redirect us today, but some of the Otter gang coming to join us here. We're always glad to have you guys. OC, I want to get into the 4-hour chart. Let's take a quick look at the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin, and then we're going to come back, go through the news, and then talk about where we could pull back to, because there's some indications on the 4-hour that I'm watching, and one of those levels that I am watching is coming in right about $113,600. And we'll talk about why I'm watching that level for a pullback. It has to do with OC trade theory. So we'll see if you can figure it out before I get around to that part. But let's kick it over to your screen and let's see where Bitcoin's currently at. What's going on with the markets, bro?
Absolutely. So there you go. We have broken actually throughout my area of resistance here. And by the way, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. And what are we talking about? Let me just get rid of, oh, this is not it. Get rid of this box. For some reason, I'm stuck with this. 1 second, something is just messed up. All right. I think I got it
It was at
fixed
this
maybe.
moment he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, I click a bunch of things on my keyboard. All right, perfect. Now it's working. So let's get rid of this box. I was looking between these two areas of resistance and it just blew, right? Let me zoom out just a little bit in here and get rid of my predictive ranges for a second. And let's bring back what we were following through, right? So this is a huge megaphone that has been an amazing resistance so far and an amazing support. Look at that so far. So I think this is safe to say that, yeah, we're still within that megaphone. And then remember, we have a previous possibility, a calculation where we have the very topic here for our extension. We are right now on that resistance that we manually created, right? But we have it, we just have a big body kind of going through the median. So if you thought, hey, you know what, I just lost my opportunity. Hey, chill, because look at what happened previously, right? We have that big body kind of coming through, a little bit of a range, a pullback where you could have entered, right? Not just one, two, three, and then off we go, right? So I think the same thing is going to happen here. I do still feel the FOMO, especially since yesterday. Remember, yesterday at this same time, I was saying, hey guys, I think I'm gonna be going into a long riding here, and I'm just gonna wait for the Bitcoin price to come back down to it, and I'm gonna be opening a long, right? Guess what happened? It closed above. I did not enter. And look at that freaking movement, right? So if you think you're feeling FOMO, I mean, just imagine saying, hey, we could have caught the very bottom. And then just because I decided to wait just a little more second, it won't run away, right? So I understand you. Don't worry. Price of Bitcoin is not going anywhere, right? Something important to realize or to remember is that we've been here before. And as always, everything that goes up needs to come back, except for Bitcoin. But this is not to give you FOMO. This is just to prevent you. Yeah, I know. To prevent you that we're gonna have a secondary chance. We're gonna be looking into the charts also today at night, and I think we might be having a couple of other altcoin entries throughout the day. So be patient. Weekend is coming, low volume is coming. We might have some flagging out action here to allow us to re-enter, and then off we go. But so far, doing fantastic. And also, especially you said, maybe breakout retest, or maybe we just hit the 117, and then we could maybe be talking about what, $500,000 Bitcoin, maybe. Did I
That
nail
would
it?
be no, that would be a $0.5 million Bitcoin. 0.5 million. Come
Point
on,
five.
OC. You got to get on the new lingo, man. Shout out to ZTS Rhythm, my son. Evidently, he has awoken here at the Swag household, at the Piper household. He's moving. He said, "Buenos dias." He's practicing the Spanish, even though we left El Paso. I don't know, man. Hey, you do your thing. Good morning to everyone that is joining us here, coming in. HFG, I saw you there coming in, rolling into the Piper Academy, and Chris Ford Ranger. Good morning to everyone. All right, let's go talk about news. I want to talk about all the news, and then we're going to get into this. Like, who the hell is calling Bitcoin prices at fractions of $1 million? It's pretty crazy. So, if you guys know in the chat, don't say anything. Don't say anything. We want those that don't know to know where this very powerful financial entity that's out there is making these claims in the $1 million realm. So, all right, let's jump over to the news. Talk about that. Get into these metrics here first. Looking at the metrics for today, guys, on Into the Cryptoverse, links down below. We have currently, we're sitting right now. I want you to see on-chain metrics are pushing higher in the risk levels. Just so be aware, be aware. That's not no cause for concern, but you have to be aware of this type of stuff. So currently, crypto market cap total, guys, this thing is so low. Look at that. Crypto market cap total, $3.687 trillion. The trend on this is sitting in just over $4 trillion. Undervaluation is only 8.85%. We are almost completely absorbed our median line, which is sitting just about $4 trillion. So looking at the current risk levels, And this is going to be interesting because for those that are in our Discord community following the Piper plan, we've been following the Piper plan for DCA since January the 11th, okay, of this year. And typically we've been in like 2x or 3x levels of entry, meaning the further that you pull back in price, you multiply your weekly DCA. So if it's at a risk band of, say, 4.9, that's going to be a 3 times your DCA for that week, 2 times your DCA above 5, so on and so forth, right? We've been doing this since January 11th. We're about to hit the level where we only do a single multiplier on our DCA. So if your weekly DCA is $50, you're only going to do $50. We're about we're about 0.12% away from going into profit taking zones. That's at 0.7, and we start that when this thing hits 70, just so you know. So how that works is we start off with the 30% of our total crypto token count taking profits. And then at the 80% range of risk bands, we take another 50%. That puts us at a total of 80%. We leave 20% for Hail Mary. Guys, we're closing in on the 1x right now, and I think we're going to be hitting that 70% range right about the time that we're hitting the top. So the Piper plan, DCA plan, if you guys don't know, you're missing out. It's just handing you the roadmap to profit. So let's go over and take a look at Bitcoin dominance right now. Currently, Bitcoin dominance, let's refresh this and see. I don't know how much things are selling off in comparison to Bitcoin yet. With stables right now, Bitcoin dominance is sitting at 63.79%. Without stable coins, sitting at 68.43%. A little bit of a pullback. A lot of money flowed into alts as they started to FOMO up. So Wave Cypher, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Now let's go check out X. Fear and Greed. Currently, we're sitting at 71 right now. We are in greed. Is there a newer one on this? I think there might be. I think this thing comes out like every 4 hours. Nope, there's no new one. No new one. Okay, so yeah, we're sitting at currently 71, but not in extreme greed yet. And then we'll come back and talk about this Kabisi letter thread. Look at this. Liquidations in the past 24 hours. You guys remember me showing you this? I showed this like all last week, and I said, here's why I think we're still going up. Because if you look at the total of longs versus the total of shorts, right now we're sitting at 67.5% of all trades on Binance are shorts. They are shorting the market. Only 32% is longing the market. And this has been going on for over a week. And I said, I don't see us going down when the majority are calling for shorts. It's just not how it works. When everyone's moving left, you should be moving right. And that was one of the big reasons that I said I still think we're going up. We've been saying this for about a week now. So looking at this perspective, what happened? Well, there you go. Right there. There we go. Past 24 hours, 276,430 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $1.3 billion. The largest single liquidation order happened on HTX. It was for Bitcoin. It was the $88.5 million, OC. $88.5 million. Holy cannoli. That's a lot of money, bro. So yeah, guys, when you see that many people shorting, that typically tells you that they're going in the wrong direction. The majority is usually wrong. So shout out to those that were ahead of that curve and were listening in and knew exactly what was going on here. Looking at crypto bubbles here on the daily. Yeah.
By the way,
what?
If you have $88 million and you're shorting the bull market and you happen to get liquidated once, give us a call. We might charge you less and give you some financial advice.
You could have just gave me like 1 million. 1 million of that $88 million, I would have hooked you up and told you you're stupid. Go the other direction. So not
And that
financial
even be
advice.
cheaper.
Not financial advice. All right, looking at Bitcoin here, guys. We're sitting just under $118,000, up 6.1% on the daily. Ethereum broke $3,000 very briefly. It is sitting at $2,994. It is up 7.5% on the daily. Can we get in there? There we go. Got the whole thing on there. Cool. Looking at XRP, it's up a whopping 13.6%, sitting at $2.76 right now. It has moved up, by the way, to the number 3 spot. Do you see that? It has taken out Tether. It said, "Hey, Tether, you're in my spot. I need you to get out of here, Mr. Market Cap." BNB is up 3%. Solana is up 5.5 at $166. Dogecoin is up 13.3%, sitting at 20 cents, moving up 1 spot to number 8, giving up that spot that was in number 8, moving down to number 9 is Tron. It is up 2.3% at 29.7 cents. Cardano, holy A to ace, man. Holy balls, A to ace, bro. This thing's at 19.7% on the upside, sitting just under 75 cents. You said you shifted along. Look at you go. Look at you go. If you guys don't follow an A to ace, you guys need to. This man knows his Cardano network. He follows the entire ecosystem, makes a lot of money playing all these different angles on it. So go check him out. The strike zone over with A to ace. SWE is up 9.5%, $3.53. Stellar Lumens is up 18.9%, guys, moving up 2 spots to number 13 from that number 15, pushing Chainlink, leaving Chainlink down there at number 14. It's up 9.4%, at $15.68, not $800 buck. And Bitcoin Cash moving down 2 spots to number 15, up 4.5%. Rounding out these last 5 here, we got Avalanche up 9%, HBAR up 15.8%, Leo token, that's the native token on the decentralized exchange, moving down a little bit because people are not using the token. They're moving into actual crypto. And then Shiba Inu up 9.1 and Toncoin up 3.7. So we're seeing some really big moves here in the top 20 today, guys. Let's talk about the current market conditions. Give this a refresh and let's see what's going on with the TradFi side. All Wall Street, Dow Jones down 0.5% today. S&P's down 0.35%. The NASDAQ down 0.1% after hitting a new all-time record high again. Russell 2K, guys, it is down about 0.73%. That's your small caps. And the VIX is under 17, but it is green and moving to the upside. So volatility is sitting kind of low right now. I want to go look at the Europe markets because, guys, last night the European markets closed in the red across the board. A lot of this coming from Trump throwing out more tariff stuff again. He called out Canada last night. Asia markets, HSI in Shanghai, they were green, but the Nifty 50, that's India, Nikkei, that's Japan, they all sitting in the red. Bond market continuing to go up, guys. Look, the 10-year. This is the thing that Trump keeps harping on right there. My hand disappears. Here, let me move it over. This is the thing that Trump keeps harping on is the 10-year treasury yield because he needs it to come down. He needs the Fed to cut rates, which will then have an effect on the 10-year treasury bond, which will then have an effect on our refinancing cost for our debt. And we've got to get through that. We got to get that refinance soon because we're going to be maturing. It's either pay this now or refinance it at very high rates. The 10-year treasury yield pumping back up again, 4.4% now, breaking that 4.39 average that we've been topping out at. So not a good look right now for the Fed Reserve, or for the federal government, refinancing their debt. Looking at oil right now, moving back up again, $67.7 per barrel, up 1.8%. All the gas is rising in cost right now, and gold moving back up again, $3,366, up 1.22%. Silver is over $38 an ounce, people. This is crazy. My 41 ounces of silver may be getting traded in. I may be taking that to that exchange I talked about the other day that said, hey, you can we trade silver, gold, and crypto here. I may go in and go, what's your spot price on silver? And then take that money. I'll buy my own Bitcoin. Thanks. Copper moving to the downside, down about 1% today. Platinum and palladium up big time. Guys, you guys remember that talk about which do I like better, platinum or palladium? Palladium's up 6.7% today versus platinum's 3.79%. Let's go talk about the economic calendar. We have nothing today. There's nothing to talk about. Monthly budget statements coming out at 1 p.m. That's about it. Next week is going to be our first big event. It's going to be on Tuesday, July 15th, and that is going to be the core inflation rate and month over month and year over year releases of inflation data. So be watching for that next week. That's going to be our next catalyst factor, unless we get some stupid tweets. Looking at the likelihood, flashbang. Looking at the likelihood here of rate cuts going on. Status quo for July. Where's it at? July. 93.3% chance of no change for rate cuts in July. Again, just so you know, right there. There's what Jay Powell thinks about July rate cuts. So, no, I just need to shave my beard, man. Need to shave my beard username. I vote Wizard Beard. I could just let this thing just get grizzly, keep it cleaned up, beard oils, like some of the crypto bros out there. But yeah, I don't think my wife would dig that at all. What else have we got here? Let's go give this an update. This is talking about CNBC's live market releases. Dow drops 200 points. S&P retreats from record as Trump escalates trade battles. Live updates. So this is what I was just talking about Trump throwing out tariff stuff again. He announced a 35% tariff on Canada and threatened higher tariffs across the board. Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 267 points, or 0.6%. The S&P slid 0.4%, and the NASDAQ dipped 0.2%, which is only 0.1% now. Trump cited fentanyl as the reason for higher Canada duties, adding that they would go higher if the country retaliates. I think the tariffs have been very well received. The stock market hit a new high today. Traders were also waiting on a trade update from Trump on the European Union this week. I want to talk about this for a second because this is going to lead into our next segment. And he's talking here about the stock market is receiving the tariffs well as the reason that they're pumping, OC. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that at all. I think there's a really good article that I have here that I'm going to break out in a second. But it's not an article, it's a thread from Kabisi letter, but it actually talks about why all of these markets are pumping right now, especially Bitcoin. What are your thoughts? What do you think is the reason for the markets pumping? Is it because they are taking all of this data, all of this tariff stuff, and just like, this is great, let's buy stocks? What do you think it is, OZ?
A few moments later.
God,
yes, got him.
I think I'm earning that muted badge, dude. I don't know, but all right. What I'm thinking is, at this point in history, right, when we start seeing things happening, I think it's just a relief feeling that we're having, right? I mean, after everything all together, I mean, tariff, war, threats, right, active bombing, everything just going crazy, and we're talking about WW3, or not we, I mean, news talking about WW3, right? And everything just, hey, I mean, we're on fire, right? World is on fire, and then suddenly quiet, but not the bad kind of quiet, but like, all right, tariff, all right, already going either stable, accepted, or dealt, right? I mean, or having, get to a convenience agreement, to an agreement. And then what? Countries just getting to not a peace treaty, but I want to say retaliation fear. Like, for example, when Russia bombed the F out of Ukraine because they were left out of bombs, right? And then the U.S. government said, all right, let's send some bombs to Ukraine. Then Russia stopped, right? Why? Because of fear of retaliation. So I think things waters are getting to a peaceful zone where we can see that fear jumping to gold, getting back from some earnings out of gold or some gains out of gold, and then what you do with those gains, we put them back into something that is slightly more volatile, right? So you put it into crypto, you put it into forex, you put it into less volatile, into forex, into stocks. Yeah, I think that is the actual move that we're seeing, and we need to be a little bit careful, because if this is the case, if this is just a peace rebound, we might be having, as you mentioned, we don't get another tweet, we may get all that money back and say, hey, you know what? Forget about it. Go back to gold, right? So that's my thoughts.
So here's what's interesting, okay? Donald Trump, our president, our commander in chief, president of the 51st state of Canada, namesake of the Gulf of America. He's always been pro US dollar. Like he said on numerous occasions, the US dollar is the most important currency to him. He only cares about what the dollar is valued at, right? But we see that what's going on with all of this, how he's approaching everything, he's absolutely destroying the US dollar. And if you take a look at when the dollar started to dump, it happened when he did all of this tariff stuff, started pushing these trade wars and so on and so forth. And what has happened since then? Everything's gone up. Look, are you paying attention? This is a Kabisi letter. Are you paying attention? Bitcoin is now up 55% since its April 2025 low, hitting a record $115,000, 118,000 now. Excuse me, 0.118 million now. Meanwhile, the US dollar just had its worst start to a year since 1973, falling nearly 11% in 6 months. This is not a coincidence. Let us explain. Heading into April 2025, Bitcoin was moving in a straight line lower on trade war fears. On April 9th, tariffs were delayed for 90 days and Bitcoin bottomed. This is when we started getting bullish again after the January sell-off. On January 20th, the real rally began without any major news days after the delay. So what really happened here? It's clear that the story for crypto has become much more than just being a decentralized currency. Rather, it's become the hedge along with gold against the biggest crisis in the US, deficit spending. Crypto and gold are telling a clear story. The crisis is worsening. Take a look at the date on the article when Elon said he was stepping away from Doge. This aligns perfectly with the sudden rally in Bitcoin, which began on April 20th and continues today. Elon stepping away from Doge was the first sign. It was the first sign of just how bad the crisis was. So, guys, we're seeing that the dollar is getting super weak the longer this goes on. And the weaker the dollar is getting, the stronger the markets are doing. People are getting away from the dollar's devaluation to anywhere that can outperform that devaluation percentage. Gold and Bitcoin, crushing it. The stock market's hitting new all-time highs. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, the man who said that his number one concern was to make sure that there was a maintained valuation, the strength of the US dollar, the American dollar, he's actually destroying its valuation, and we are seeing a flee from that. So to say that this is because, hey, look, the stock markets are doing well, they're accepting these tariffs really good. No, they're getting away from the dollar that's dying on the vine right now. And that's what we're seeing there. Matter of fact, if we jump over, I want to take a look here. Let's go to the FX. I mean, you can see, well, today, not horrible. Today, it's not horrible today. They're actually coming down, but this has been green quite a bit when you compare the US dollar to some of these other currencies here. So, that's what we're seeing, man. That's what we're seeing is that valuation pump up. Let's talk about this real fast, OC. I want to talk about the time frames that we're seeing here on Bloomberg Terminal, and I want to look at Bitcoin on the daily. So let's go over here and talk about this article first. You guys came here to find out what is $0.118 million Bitcoin. Bloomberg Terminal is now showing Bitcoin priced in fractions of millions as price predictions top 1 million plus. Go down here and take a look. Bitcoin price is poised for its next new all-time high, a show of strength that has prompted Bloomberg Terminal, a staple for institutional investors, to adjust its professional service. The allure of crypto, particularly Bitcoin, continues to grow, and institutional investors are just as interested as retail. The institutional optics shift, but is hyper Bitcoinization next. Bloomberg Terminal adjusted its scale, now showing Bitcoin in millions. As of Thursday, one Bitcoin was quoted on their terminal at $0.112 million. And you can see that right here Last price, $0.112 million, close $0.108 million, high on 7/9, $0.112, average $0.109 million. Bloomberg's Terminal is a premium financial software platform that provides professionals with real-time market data, analytical software, and trading capabilities. Bloomberg Display Tweak represents more than a user interface decision. It reflects a world adjusting to Bitcoin's role as a high-value macro asset. So pretty cool there to see that happen and see this how this is changing the perspective of from institutional mindset, right? Like how much is a
Bloomberg.
Bitcoin, OC? It's a $500,000. It's $0.5 million Bitcoin. That's OC's goal right there. So I thought I saw this. I thought it was really cool. I found the article. I wanted to show you guys this crazy shift. Like this is a big shift in my mind to go from, hey, this thing's $118,000 to looking at investors and going, hey, this thing's on its way to $1 million. It's 0.118% of the way there. That's a huge, huge difference, right? So your thoughts on this, OC? Are you just going to start telling everybody when they go, how much is Bitcoin today? Just start telling them it's $0.118 million. Just start building that way, right? The next step after this, by the way, is how much is Bitcoin worth today? Bitcoin is worth 1 Bitcoin. That's the goal there. But yeah, your thoughts on this, OC?
Well, my thoughts are like straightforward. It's all right. Bloomberg changing lexic from thousands to millions, and people out there still thinking, should I buy Bitcoin now? I think it's too late. It's too expensive. I don't know. I think this has an underline. I mean, if they're changing from thousands to millions, I think the direction which they believe it's going, it's very, very clear. And I'm just saying, they might know something that you don't. So, not telling you to go buy Bitcoin, just telling you to consider what Bloomberg is saying. But yeah.
So yeah, in this article, they actually had some other predictions here that could have been some of the reasons that Bloomberg said we got to start putting this in a realistic number for people, for institutions to understand, right? Because they see this 118 down to like what sounds worse, dropping from 120,000 to 110,000, or dropping from 1.1 0.10 0.12 to 0.1. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not that big of a deal when you put it in that perspective. So they're probably looking at the mindset of how this looks to institutional investors out there. So bold Bitcoin predictions stack up for 2025 and beyond. Let's get into this. Earlier in the year, academic research published by MDPI suggested that Bitcoin could hit $1 million by early 2027, potentially $5 million by 2031. This was according to a research model pushed out by TFTC. They are actual golds confirmed there on X, which means they are a business, a corporation. Supply and demand framework for Bitcoin price forecasting. They have it right there. Parameterization suggests that Bitcoin will reach $1 million by early 2027 for all levels of withdrawal. However, this depends on how quickly coins are withdrawn from the liquid supply. The model forecasts a shift from adoption-led growth to supply-driven hyperbolic price action. So at the highest level of withdrawal, the price could reach $2 million by late 2027, meaning that the more you're trying to get rid of it, the more people are going to buy it up, and the more you're going to have price be in order to have the liquidity there to exit out. So, that's what they're talking about in this. What is it? Research adds to the pile of the market sentiment favoring aggressive upside. Max Kaiser has reiterated his long-held call for $220,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. And then, meanwhile, Standard Charter expects Bitcoin to hit 135 in the third quarter and reach $200,000 by quarter four. And of course, as you guys know, in the Bitcoin price prediction video 2025, OC called for a $500,000 Bitcoin. According to this official Max Kaiser, though, he thinks $500,000 happens in 2028. So I don't know. A lot of calls out there for big money in Bitcoin. That just leads us to the question of where do we go from here, right? Where are we now and how do we get there? I'll jump over here and show what I'm seeing on the charts today, guys, and why I think that we could see a pullback happen to about 100 and I think it's 110,000 I saw. But we'll take a look at this and see what we're seeing here on the daily for Bitcoin right now. We did trigger that take profit. That's that green check mark right there. But I want to point out on the multi-time frame screener using Chart Prime's prophecy indicator, quantum reactor, the reversal indicator, and the dynamic reactor, we are green across the board with the exception of reversals. That means that we don't have any reversals printing. And right now, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily are actually all showing bullishness on all of these indicators at once. So even on the lower time frames, we're not seeing this thing flip around on us yet and start to turn red, because what will happen is the 5 minute will start to trigger and then the 15 minute. And as it builds up and further out, then we go, okay, look, everything's turning red on us. We're about to flip downward on the daily, right? And we're not seeing that at all right now. But I will point out that we are at the top here on the predictive range frames. We did get the take profit and the but on two different sectors, take profit, okay? And we are hitting the top frame of these predictive ranges from the Market Dynamics Pro. If we take a look over here, though, widening out, still strong to the upside on the MACD normalized signals. Look at this. We're not flattening out on the MACD histogram. It's still pumping up higher. We are sitting a little high here, 84 range on the RSI Prime. And if you take a look back here, that was when we went into the sideways consolidation level. As this was red, gave it a really big cool off after, and then just continued to run, man. Let them ponies run. So that's what we're seeing right now, is this turning red again. But could this set up to where we just continue to break, do a nice cool back? Hey, we're cooled off now, get our bounce again. This cools off during that time period and we set up another run. Very possible. We've already seen this happen numerous times in the past. So, we are seeing on the daily here for the Oscillator Pro, you can see that overbought keeps triggering right there. It's happening in real time. Like as this price comes up, it keeps turning on and turning off because this candle's not closed yet. And so this will not confirm until the candle closes, but it is giving us that warning right now. Warning order. Hey, we might be going back down. We might be overbought, I should say. So the levels that I'm watching, and I'll just pull this over here and show you on the 4 hour. OC guy, what do we have here, bro? Check it out. On the 4 hour, we have broken the upper frame of predictive ranges. Okay. We have started an entire new frame of the predictive ranges. OC, what happens when you hit this upper resistance line inside of a new set of predictive ranges? Where do we typically go?
We usually go and find the blue line, the next newer blue line.
It's right there. That's 113.6K. So that's the level I'm watching for. If we do a pullback, watch for us to pull back right there from this level, because we started new predictive ranges. We typically go back and find that delta line, just like we did back. Let's turn some of this stuff off. Let's turn it off and just go take a look here. Look, went into predictive ranges. We came into them here. We broke. We went to the delta. Okay. Right there. That's that blue line. Went into a new range here, broke. Where'd we go? Up. We came in above. We came back to the delta. It's sitting right underneath this if you don't know. Come over here. Broke. Went into a new range. Where'd we go? Back to the delta. Broke into a new range outside of that. New ranges here. Where'd we go? Back to the delta. Guys, I think that would be the level to watch. 113.6 is the level to watch there based on historical price action behavior for Bitcoin when it breaks into new predictive ranges. So I will also point out, if that level doesn't hold, I think it should, but if it doesn't hold, we are looking at 111,000 is going to be your bottom of your golden pocket. A majority of price action on predictive ranges occurs right there between those two gold bands. There's your delta median. So that's the most likely case scenario. If we really want to look at where's all the confluence at for this entire period, it's down around 107 to 106, down at that level. Dynamic reactor. Let's talk about all of it here. Dynamic reactor, point of control, value area low, quantum reactor and the VWAP coming in off of chart primes indicators. So all coming in at that level there. And you can see I do have a green box there. That's the equivalent of Alex O's pink box. But I can't take his pink box from him. That's against bro code. So there you go. OC, that's what I'm watching for the level. Got a pull back there to that nice blue delta, sitting at about 113.6. Oh my God, we might crash to $113,000 Bitcoin, OC. What will we ever do? I'll do that when that happens. I'll do the O face. I'll do the O face thumbnail. Yep. Oh my
That'd
God,
be
Bitcoin's
fantastic.
crashing. OC, what are you watching on altcoins? Unless you got anything to tie into that with Bitcoin, but I think that pretty much nails where we're at right now. I'd like to know what you're seeing on altcoins because altcoins are crushing it, bro. And I'd like to see what you're watching. XRP doing really well. Ethereum doing really well. Let's go see what you got on your charts, man.
Absolutely. So take a look at a couple of calls that we've been giving in the past. Filecoin doing fantastic right now. We're getting to the predicted trend line in here. So basically, we ranked yesterday at midnight, all the way up here. So at this point, we having a goose head. Seems like that goose head is gonna play it out very nicely, especially if we start throwing our support and resistances. Right. I think a little shape will be good to go, and then the breakout coming up here. I want to mention that this breakout could happen because after that, it's not about your breakout, it's about your retest and then a further continuation. So Filecoin could be a good area to re-enter. So I'm gonna be watching these zones as also I'm gonna be watching this continuation. So I'm looking for exactly what happened with Bitcoin. That little flag out to then a continuation turbo. Also hit some targets. We were looking at this area for targeting. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest. Fighting a little bit. If you did miss this entry, your next one was your bullish signal. Remember, we don't trade the signal itself, we trade the retracement. Double bottom here, flip of the ribbon, off we go, breaking that trend line and that dynamic reactor. What we're expecting right now is that we are breaking or hitting previous highs. Let's not get acceptance before or below the previous weekly highs. So coming back down somewhere around here, and then off we go. How low could we go in here? That will be a little hard to predict because yes, we do have some equal volume in here, and we don't have a very anything else in this area. So basically, it's an empty zone, right? But if we start looking our just support resistance, well, we can start lining it up right here. We have our weekly low, we have our support line, and of course our sideways volume. Also, another thing that is leading me to believe that we're going that low is this high order block here, highly bearish. In order blocks, they tend to be a little magnetic. Another thing that is happening here, let's bring this up, is look at that, breaking through the purple, hitting the blue line. So basically we are right there on that blue line. What's going to happen next? I do expect a little retracement before a continuation. Let's see if we can get this first retracement right here at 0.0044, and then the next one here at 0.0041. Turbo is one of the ones that I'm looking at. I like Turbo. Graphene or graph, whatever. It also, look at that, went right to our area of entry. Here we go. Let me just get rid of everything. Oh, don't update it just now. And here it is. Went to our area of entry. We were expecting for breakout retest. Took a little bit more. There we go. Breakout retest. We hit targets right there. And there we go. At this point, I don't know if we're going to be having that goose head because it doesn't seem like the actual goose head playing out. It seems more like a rounded top. Usually that rounded top might be leading us to have something like that, right? Something like this, but a little bit bigger. What happened here? A little push to the upside before the rounding of that movement. So a little push to the upside before rounding of that movement. And I'm thinking that we could either stop on retail, or even go all the way down here with big disparity. Uh, Graphene or Griffin, I don't know how to pronounce that. Might be one to wait, because if we get back in here, I don't know. This kind of looks like a dead cat bounce, and I don't think that this is going to have enough fuel, and that is because lack of support. Yes, we have a lot of blocky here, but other than that, I don't see anything else. And look at its percentages; they are very, very similar. The only thing that tells me that lot order block is that we're going to range a little bit. So at that range, I might be changing my mind depending on what happens with the oscillator. If we're ranging here and we go low and then we flip back up, I'll be trying to catch that continuation movement to the upside. And finally, Jupiter. Man, one of my guilty pleasures, Jupiter, played out almost exactly as we were expecting. There we go. Yeah, we did not hit the very first area of target. That's fine. But it followed up with the amount of bounces in here, finally hitting the target that we were expecting. So Jupiter go for the win. Jupiter is looking like that goose head. So I think we could be reaching somewhere around 52.89. I wouldn't be buying right now. Your entry was on your dynamic reactor. As with everything else, let's bring up our support and resistances. There we go. And I will be waiting for a retracement, previous weekly high, number one retracement, and then big retracement back in here if we can nail this. Difference between Jupiter and Graphene. The bunching up of the support on Graphene is right down here, which is kind of like in the way, right, of this area. So this big push doesn't really matches with this big dump, right? So this will be basically pump and dump, and the difference will be just a couple of points, right? Difference with Jupiter, there we go. The actual movement is not that big of a deal, and if we come back down, well, then it will be, yes, a pump and dump, but we'll still be making a higher low, and the amount of money injection in here might not be overwhelming to consider this same retracement and then maybe hit the next target somewhere around 64, 0.64 ish or so. In fact, I'm going to be adding another one in there. And so far, this is what I'm looking into. I have Shiva, but I need to tell you something about Shiva. I did not take Shiva trade, although look at that breakout retest, a fantastic, phenomenal. Yeah, that was a good one though. That was a good.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Of course, 22% movement in Shiva, boom shakalaka. And yesterday we looked at Polygonmatic, and this was it. All right, so Polygonmatic basically hitting target number 3, TP1, TP2, our entry, basically on spot, and off we go. So Polygonmatic doing fantastic. So other than that, just waiting for the rest of the icons. Other set of icons that I'm looking into is let me see. Yeah, I'm just a little low here. I'm looking actually to a possible reentry on gold. I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm looking more into, where are you, my friend? Come on. F Ethereum and Solana. Where is Ethereum? Here is Ethereum. All right. Why F Ethereum? I was expecting a little bit of a roll that back down into the box, but we definitely made a statement that, yep, we are not coming back into the box. So what is the next movement? Flagging out somewhere around this area of support. So that is the area that I'm looking for a further continuation. I'm very excited about Ethereum. Ethereum, hashtag F Ethereum is finally doing something. It happened. It was not dead. And it's just giving some signals of life. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper. What are you looking into the markets?
I'm watching this. I'm watching Clean Spark right now. I mean, not Clean Spark. I'm sorry. Circle. CRCL. I was looking at Clean Spark a second ago. I'm looking at CRCL. This is Circle, guys. We lost the golden pocket that I was talking about that we needed to hold as support. That was also in line with our lower golden band of our predictive ranges. There's your upper. There's your delta. There's that gold band coming right in the middle there. We needed to hold that. We lost it this morning. Why? Because Baird. Baird did it. Baird initiates Circle Internet Group at neutral with a $210 price target, which caused some sell-off this morning. We are seeing a big sell-off there. Levels that I'm watching on the 1 hour is going to be the weighted the VWAP here. This is coming from Chart Prime's Market Dynamics Pro. It's coming in right here at about 183.44. But again, guys, last thing is same thing we said last week. If we look at this on the 4 hour, check it out. This is the level I'm watching right here. It's going to be this platinum pocket again, the 887 to the 786. This is based on this bottoming out consolidation level to our top for a retracement. Watch this 176.81. That's going to be the price level to watch for Circle. If you're looking to DCA into that, that would be the price right in that range. Also, another thing that I'm watching too on the charts right now is going to be, let me find it here. Someone asked about stacks the other day, and I said, I don't know about stacks. I don't know. It's got to get this break above and not just be a liquidity grab above these levels here in this range. And what do? We've broken above it now. So I'm going to go ahead and put on here that we do have a price target because we're breaking above the delta median. If we get above this line, then our target on this is going to be about 82.66, be this upper level of the gold band, and we'll start trading in between this pocket because right now we've been trading between the lower section here of the frame to the lower gold band. If we're moving up, then we're going to go between the next phase up, and that's going to give us a target again of about 82.6 cents there on stacks. So that's what I'm seeing there on that. A lot of other things moving today. Though I heard you was going to talk about gold. So let's go ahead and take a look at gold, and then we'll come back and see where we are with time, OC. What you got for gold?
Absolutely. So for gold, I was expecting a little bit more of a dipping here on this gold, but I'm also trading the AIU iShares Gold Trust share because this is the one that I can trade on my paying taxes account, if you know what I mean. But here it is. We were into the boxing here. I think we can still go a little lower, but an entry has been already executed. So if you guys know what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. This is not financial advice. I'm not sending you to buy. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Other than that, gold. Sorry about that. Or other than that, gold not having this last sweep of the lows that I was expecting here, nonetheless is breaking through. So let's get rid of that. And what we're going to be happening? Well, then all the way up, retracement, further continuation. I think we might be having something like that or something like this on our oscillator, which might be taking us farther up at previous areas right here. So a possible retracement in gold might be your re-entry if you're looking into gold. We have broken a big pattern, if I can show you right here, a falling wedge to the upside. So we're looking for that retracement. Also, we are back above the zero line, the dynamic reactor, and of course, back above the zero line. So let's go, gold. Let's go.
Awesome. Let's talk about this chart and another chart before we head out of here. This is you guys know this chart. I talked about this level. I said, look, this is the trend-based retracement, right? Trend-based fibs of cycle low to cycle high to cycle low. So this here goes all the way back to the low of 2018. Measured to the top of 2021 to the bottom of 2022, and that gives us 3 points for a trend-based fib extension of the golden pocket. Typically, historically, that's been the ranges that we reject in unless you look at 2017 here. 2018, we broke above that level and continued up to the upside. Let me check here. I want to see something here. Yeah, we almost hit the 786 of that cycle. We came in just underneath it. But when I look at this and I go, okay, look, if we're going to break this and we're looking at this level right now, this is where we are. We've gotten our support. When I talked about what we would need to do in order to go to these parabolic numbers that everyone was predicting, I said, look, we rejected here back in January of this year, right? We pulled down. We started to get bullish again here in this range, started pushing hard on the DCA levels. We came back up. We pulled back in. We had a little pullback. And then it fought up. And I said, we have to get support inside of this level and then break out of this level to continue to the upside. Guys, right now, we're sitting. You can see the candle candle fighting for the body to get above that line. We're sitting below it right now. That is 117,833. That would be the 0.66 GAN level on this trend-based fib extension. If we're to break past this, then I think that we need to consider that the 786 could be in play. 786 is sitting at 173. The 887 top side of this platinum pocket is sitting at 236. I think that we have to at least consider that this 173 is in play. And if we go over here and we go to fib cycles and turn that on, well, look, there's your 1.618 that I've been talking about, that if we break this, we have to consider that this fib cycle is in play also. Why? Because historically, we've always hit the 1.618 at least once we found support above the 786 and the 1-to-1, 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 go back here, 1-to-1, right there. Line, please. Thank you. We've always hit that 1.618. It's either been resistance, pull back, and then pump again, or it's been ultimately our target. So last cycle, it was our target. We hit it right there. Guys, that would be right in line with what I'm looking at on this extension of the 786. Let's get rid of all the Mexican spaghetti. OC's had enough time here. There we go. There's your 786, there's your 1618. That level's coming in between 168 to 174. I think $170,000 Bitcoin is our target if we show support on top of this GAN level of 0.66 here. Get that bounce there and head to this zone, 786. That's your target. $170,000 Bitcoin. That's what I'm thinking. Yesterday, we talked about this. I just want to give you a recap. Yesterday morning, we talked about this level right here where we were coming in. This is your take profit zones of the parabolic run. I said, look, when we hit this halfway mark here between the this phase and this phase here starts, by the way, August 4th. This phase here started on 16 June. We look historically, and I did the measurements on this, and it was pretty substantial measurements from that midway mark. We talked about the pullbacks. We talked about the pumps. And I said, guys, I think we are looking at going quite a bit higher. This was yesterday morning. It's going to be, we were right here yesterday morning when I talked about this. And I said, look, if we do this measurement on the average, we're at least looking at about 150,000. Guys, we've started this candle push, and this is proving out to be true, hitting those euphoria zones, and that will all kick off on August 4th. So keep that all on your charts too. Be aware and be prepared so that you guys can make that move with Bitcoin. So I just wanted to talk about those two charts and show what we were seeing there on those two levels. Guys, 170,000 if we go off of the 786 retracements and looking at that 160 some thousand, if we look at that 1.618 levels, that's always been hit every cycle. So I still think we have a good run to go in that euphoria phase of the profit taking windows there. So that by the way, that profit taking window that will end. Let me see here. That will end on 3 November, according to this chart. 3 November. All right, OC, what's the top of the hour, man? Appreciate you being here. What do you got for the people this weekend? Like, what should they do this weekend with Bitcoin making everyone millionaires?
Well, first of all, you should be clicking the like button. Because if you click the like button, we can have new emojis. And if you got, well, we can get to more people. If we get to more people, we can get new emojis. If we can get new emojis, we can shoot the price of Bitcoin higher. Well, not sure about that last one. But other than that, just be careful throughout this Bitcoin rally. If you are already on profits, make sure to start moving your stop to entry, or at least consider taking some partial profits. Remember that we are getting into a resistance and we could be expecting a little bit of a retracement, right? This is a good area for flagging out. And if you haven't been joined into Bitcoin, don't worry, don't FOMO in, wait for your pause in the market, jump back in, and well, then use a risk management strategy, because we don't want you guys to get stuck at the top. So other than that,
don't do that. Do not round trip. Do not round trip.
Emotional damage.
Don't do it. Awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this weekend, spend some time with friends and family. Spend some time with your loved ones. Touch some grass. Everything's going to be okay. We're all going to make it. We've known this since we got all of our indicators fired back in April, right? So we'll just keep it on moving. Right now, Bitcoin's at 117, $1.17 million. I got to get used to that. It's at $0.1178 million right now. So guys, have a great weekend. OC, thanks for being here today. To all the alumni, OC, you going live today?
Yes, I'm going live today.
Catch OC with Trade Live with OC. And then Sunday night, make sure you tune in for the market setup for the week on the Asian Market Open. That's going to be Sunday night. That's going to be with LBC and the Markets After Dark. And then we'll be back here on Monday morning, kicking it off with BC Port Corp and Good Morning Crypto, followed by the Morning Market Report and setting you guys up for the week. Set it up and spike it. Guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday. We'll catch you guys Monday morning. Peace, love, profits. We're out.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper. Spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to protect time. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to
Emotional damage!
The wheels flow low.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in the bracket.
The ZTS rhythm.
Rip it. Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean? You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.